How's it going, guys? Welcome to another episode of Quick Thoughts, a show in which I give my 2 cents on everything I feel like giving my 2 cents on. Now, let's talk Metroid Prime Federation Force. Federation Force is a game that got revealed during last year's E3 and was met with an overall negative reception from fans, so much so that the E3 2015 reveal trailer is currently sitting at about a 90% dislike ratio. This is not to mention the countless threads and discussions about the game, as well as the online petition created in an effort to get Nintendo to cancel the game. That petition is sitting at around 23,000 plus backers, by the way. With all of this in mind, you would think that whatever game that was unveiled was something borderline offensive in content and presentation. While I can see where the frustration and anger come from, does this mean that Federation Force is an inherently bad game? Before we get around to answering that question, let's take a look at what we know. Our first certainty is that the game is being developed by Next Level Games, best known for their work on Super Mario Strikers, Punch-Out!, and more recently, Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon. None of the games listed are bad games by any means, all scoring an average of 7.5 out of 10 or higher. The next thing we know for certain is that the game will feature a campaign designed for 4-player co-op. We've seen this sort of 4-player campaign style before in last year's Triforce Heroes, and while this approach isn't necessarily good or bad, it certainly clashes with what the Metroid brand is historically known for, which is primarily single-player experiences. Our last certainty is that the game is coming out very, very soon, with the release date in the US being advertised as sometime in late spring of this year, which at most is just a few months away. Mix it all together and you have the ingredients for a game with some real potential. Harking back to the question from earlier, is Federation Force doomed to be a bad game? I would say that we really can't say for sure until the game is fully released in just a few months. As for the negative reception, I can definitely see where it all stems from. Personally, I'm very much the type to wait until I've played it for myself to give my final judgments on a game, but as it stands now, I'm still very on the fence on how I feel towards Federation Force. On one hand, the game features no visual resemblance to past games in the series, takes a 4-player co-op approach to its campaign, favors FPS action-style gameplay over exploration, and features some pretty poor-looking graphics to boot. On the other hand, it's those very same points that make Federation Force just as intriguing. The idea of exploring the Metroid universe as a space marine, fighting space pirates with a party of up to 4 people almost sounds like it'll play like Borderlands, especially with the customization of loadouts. In summation, I would say that while we can't say whether the game will be one way or the other, it's important to remember to vote with your wallet. If you end up liking the way it plays, buy it. If you don't, then don't. Personally, I fully support the idea of spin-off games like this, as it gives us players a view of the same universe from a new perspective, and sometimes even gives us something really great. After all, Metroid Prime Hunters was a spin-off game and still holds the title as one of my all-time favorite original DS games to date. If Metroid Prime Federation Force can be to the 3DS what Metroid Prime Hunters was to the original DS, I'd say we're in for another great entry in the Metroid series. What do you think about Federation Force? Do you think it'll be good? Bad? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, I'm alecandstuff, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye!